YouTube.
You've seen me on the spot. You can't win.
He's one of a kind, man.
We do not understand what we're dealing with.
Mama, there goes that man.
This nigga here? That nigga there.
Yes, Sirski. What up, YouTube? Pit Till Heavy Bag TV. Man, get your goof ass in here and hit the bag. All right, man. Your boy, Jerron Boots Ennis, responding to the noise, responding to the claims that he ducked Virgil Ortiz, right? Did he? That's the big question. In my opinion, it felt like it. I'm going to just say that. But before I get started in that, I wanted to mention this real quick. It's funny how Jerron Boots Ennis swore to us that the only reason why he was sticking around 47 was to become undisputed. And when I look around, he's far removed from becoming undisputed with 2 more belts out there to try and get. And not much of an effort, too, I believe, from Eddie Hearn, where this was barely not even a year ago. Were we expecting for you to pull some kind of Canelo Alvarez and run the table in less than a year? And how realistic was that? And also, when you listen to the soundbite of Eddie Hearn, who called Brian Norman and their team a duck, and if you care to know the truth, if you care to actually peel back the layers, you would know that was far from the truth, given the hand injury Brian Norman suffered at the end of last year. He had to get time to get that fixed. That's the reason why he didn't fight at the end of 2024 at all. If you go back, there was no fight from Brian Norman in the 2024, excuse me. And then once he alerted them of the Sasaki fight, right after this Boots Stanionis fight, when they could have made this fight happen, they tried to make that fight after he announced the Sasaki fight, where they had an ample amount of time. They had weeks to try and make the fight with Brian Norman. They did. This is documented. You again, if you care to know the truth, just go look. It's all there. Then they approach him after he makes the Sasaki fight. And in this clip I'm going to play for you, you can hear Eddie Hearn basically admit that he's trying to make the fight after the Sasaki fight. And then he goes on to tell you about making a fight back into the summer, even September, whenever Norman is ready. You can't make this up. Matter of fact, listen to Eddie Hearn real quick.
Set of balls and come and be in one of the biggest fights in the sport. Wells Fargo, back end of the summer or September or wherever it's going to be when he's ready. Let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen. Matter of fact, just in case you got that Tootsie Roll in your ear, listen to Eddie Hearn again.
Set of balls and come and be in one of the biggest fights in the sport. Wells Fargo, back end of the summer or September or wherever it's going to be when he's ready. Let's make it happen.
All right, then that was the post-press conference after the Stanionis fight. And again, if you care to peel back more layers and know more of the truth, go and listen to and look at that entire press conference. You never hear them call Norman out, and you never hear them say that Norman would be next. Now, fast forward, the Sasaki fight happens. Brian Norman has arguably the knockout of the year leading candidate for knockout of the year. Nothing, no communication from Eddie Hearn and Boots Ennis. Here we are, the beginning of July. We're not even close to September yet. You just heard in the audio where he said the back end of summer or September, let's make it happen. Again, they go quiet. Then the rumblings of Boots versus T.O. and all of that. Then you heard about Devin Haney and Brian Norman. And now that fight has been made. That's been brewing over the last several weeks since Brian Norman fought. At a time when Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, and Boots could have been trying to get another unification. Because, listen, according to them, their only reason for staying at 147 was for what? Undisputed. How do you become undisputed? You fight all of the champions. But how do you fight the champions? You got to try and make the fight happen. You do. They go silent again. And now Brian Norman has a fight with Devin. I'm just saying, man, you can't make this shit up. And if you peel back the layers, you'll see it's obvious, it's blatant that they didn't want the smoke. And then then boom, he's moving up to 54. He's moving up to 54. You can't even say that you tried to make the Brian Norman fight after the Sasaki fight, after you just heard Eddie Hearn say whenever he was ready. You can't even say it. And then, to make matters worse, you heard him call out Boots after the Sasaki fight. I'm just saying, bro. Listen, man. I got to call a spade at all times. Shout out my nigga Boots, though, man. Now, according to Boots, responding to the duck talk, Virgil Ortiz, and I think for everybody it appeared to be a duck because you did decide to stay at 47 for one measly fight with Stanley Jonas that really didn't prove anything, in my opinion. When you could have made that Virgil Ortiz fight, it was on the table, so it looked like a duck, right? But responding to that, he says this, quote, "It's extra motivation. I can't wait to shut y'all up. We're here now. It's time. It's going to happen for sure." All right. So Boots is most definitely at 54 now. Bottom line, and Virgil Ortiz has the target on his back. Now, of course, Ortiz dealing with some injuries of his own. It appears that should be all cleared up and he should be good to go the end of this year. Now, here's the irony. It very well could happen to where this could end up on a Riyadh card. I'm not so sure about the details. If you do know, let me know in the comment section. I'm not so sure about it yet. But it was floating around the fact that Boots could be fighting Virgil Ortiz on a Brian Norman and Devin Haney undercard. Oh, man. If it happens like that, I think that's just pure irony. I think that's the universe trying to tell y'all exactly how it played out. Now, I'm not mad at Boots because when you're too big, you're too big. And I said to myself, when he had that first weigh-in, not the traditional or the ceremonial weigh-in for the fans, but that first weigh-in, you could tell he took pictures after that holding a title, and he looked a little sunken in. And I was like, damn, Boots probably needs to go to 54, if for nothing else, health reasons. But just like when you stood in the center of the ring and you said you was going to 54 and you wanted all the champions there, and then you turn right around and you fight at 47, then you tell us the only reason why I'm going back to 47 is for Undisputed, and then you don't capture Undisputed. You got to understand how it looks, man. It's the optics. That's all. It's the optics. You got fans out here who's going to cling to every word that the fighter says, and for his fans, they're going to believe that shit. And for the haters and detractors, they're going to believe that shit too, or at least they're going to hold you to those words. Bottom line, right? Now, I'm a huge Boots fan, hoping that he does moving forward. I'm picking him in the Virgil Ortiz fight, and I want to see the man continue to grow, blossom, and do his thing. You know what I'm saying? And I believe he has the skills to carve out a sensational, if not Hall of Fame career in the sport of boxing. Bottom line, I'm just going to point out the bullshit when I see it, call a spade a spade. Definitely want to know y'all's thoughts in it. That's all I got for y'all on this one, man. Big T.O. Heavy Bag. I am out of here. I got my son, y'all. Check him out.
Thank you for watching my dad on Heavy Bag TV.